Self in relation to creative force. By keeping in touch with the creative force, we rise above the conditions where the blind led the blind, and we know that we are guided by the all-seeing eye in all we are called to do. If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning, and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me. Let us awake and know that God is speaking to us, leading us, and protecting us. That his Spirit is even now bearing witness with our spirit that we are children of God. As the voices of our souls cry out to their Creator, let us not doubt the promise. He that hungers and thirsts after righteousness shall be filled. It may come as the wind, we may not know from whence, but all who seek will know that his name is I am that I am, who is speaking in his holy temple, the body. That is the true awakening. There is, indeed, a physical body, a mental body, and a spiritual body, and they are one in love, one in truth, one in service, and one in him. Hence, as a teacher, as an instructor, should the entity be led by the way of life, and light, and truth, and thus teach others. For, if the blind led the blind, they that accept a prophet in the name of the prophet, receive the prophet's reward, though even the prophet may be at variance to those tenets, which might bring others to an understanding, or an interpreting. But they are both of the way. For, he that climbeth up some other fooleth himself, and is not wise. How can I keep from worrying so much about my wife's health? Why worry, when ye may pray? Know that the power of thyself is very limited. The power of creative force is unlimited. Thy abilities are efficient, and in him sufficient, to accomplish that which may bring a life experience of joy and of worthwhileness through this sojourn. Of thyself ye may do little, but in him ye may accomplish much. The first anxiety, the first awareness of which each soul should become cognizant or seek earnestly, is that God is conscious of thee. And the very fact of your own awareness should ever remind thee of this. If each soul would or could become aware of that, how much difference there might be in the choices made day by day. For, the first awareness would be that truly in him ye live, ye move, ye have thy being, thus the necessity of daily keeping before thee an ideal, spiritual, mental and material, realizing that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Hence it is reminding man that today, now, every day, there is set before him good and evil, life and death. Man does not find other than that answer outside himself as expressed in that spiritual discernment, my spirit beareth witness with thy spirit. Thus, as the lawgiver interpreted, lo, he is within thee. Man's discerning of that he would worship, then, is within self, how that he, the individual entity, makes manifest in his dealings daily with his fellow men that God is, and that the individual entity is in body, in mind, in soul a witness of such, and thus he loveth, he treateth his brother as himself. Such an admonition has in man's interpretation oft put God, the mighty, the Lord, as far away. And yet he recognizes, if he accepts this admonition of the lawgiver, that he is within self. Again, know the author of not only thy faith but of thy confidence as well, and be assured not only from personal experience, but from that which such has accomplished in the hearts and the souls of men, in that such authorities are able to measure up, yea, to keep inviolate, through that form or manner of experience, that which is committed unto them. Such knowledge, such interpretations of authorities would only be found by the answers from within. For, my spirit beareth witness with thy spirit is an immutable, an unchanging law. And again, the heavens, the earth may pass away, but his laws shall not pass away. The satisfying of self's own curiosity, the seeking to know what others say, the advantage of knowing what others think, rather than that I am. That I am is a portion of the great I am, and thus is in consciousness for the preparation, for the schooling, for the gaining of that estate where curiosity, selfishness, self-desire is to be left alone. The loves, the activities in the social life, the activities in the marital life, make for disturbing forces. Duties of either portion of such experience seem to be lost sight of in the moment of self-will, self-expression. No, self is the only excuse. Self is the only sin, that is, selfishness and all the others are just a modification of that expression of the ego. But so close is the ego, the I am, to the great I am, that the confusions of duty and privilege and opportunity become so enmeshed in the experience of the entity. And so great are the abilities of the entity to make of this experience a glory for the living God, that to fail would be indeed calamitous in the experience of this soul. Happiness, then, is not a thing set apart from self, but the conditions with which one approaches that in hand to be done. For when one considers that the position of self is hard to bear, is not as is desired, the desire of the heart often maketh one afraid, unless that desire is ever in that attitude of use me, O God, as I am. For the I am is ready, willing, to make my will one with thy will though he slay me, though he bruise me in mine own selfish or unseen ways. Yet will I trust him day by day. And he will not forsake thee, neither will he allow thee to be afraid. For he will raise thee up, and he understands all the hardships, the little things, the separations, the variations in the surroundings, but trust him. Know, as given, thy body, thy mind and thy soul are one. Where ye have fallen short is in the recognition of that, even as the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit are one. In what? Not body, not mind, but in purpose, in hope, in desire, those things that are invisible yet are the ruling influences in the application of the relationships of individuals one to another. Individualized, they are not one. Spiritualized, they are one.